without you.
I've just given the bumper a quick flick over with the mop and cleaned it all off using panel wipe, and it is peppered with scratches and stone chips. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to touch these in as much as I can and then leave the paint to cure, and then wet flat it and repolish it and see if I can get it looking a bit better. You know, really it would normally mean a repaint, but I'll see how good I can get it without going that far, because it is a big job to get the bumper off this, and you know, it's just going to go back into storage anyway. I'll see what I can do with it. It's worth a try, and it'll ruin a good job if I leave it like this. So I did the back bumper and that's come out quite good, so let's try it with the front one, although some of these marks are quite bad. Alright, so I'm going to start touching them in now. See you later. Good morning. Spoke on the last video about the chips and scratches on this front bumper. What we've done, before I went home yesterday, I put some touch-up paint in some of the cracks and the stone chips. As you can see, I've given it a flat this morning, but we haven't completely filled some of the stone chips, although the cracking looks a lot more level, and certain of them is actually quite invisible. So what we're going to do now, I've given it a flat with 2500 grit, which clearly shows me what's left to fill. So I'm going to go around with a touch-up pen now and refill all the little stone chips. Leave that to go off while I carry on with another panel today, and then tomorrow I'll start flatting the chipped areas again, and we'll keep doing that till we'll build the paint up enough for it to be level, and then we'll reflat everything, polish it back up, and hopefully then it's level enough for the PPF. There was some damage I've touched up over this side, need some more. Some grazing down here which I've touched up, needs a little bit more. But you never get it all in one go, you know, some of it has, but it's always a case of build up till the level. So I'm more interested in this top area anyway, because this is the part visually that you see first. I'm not going to attempt to get every stone chip out. You know, if that's the case, then, you know, to strip the bumper off and have it painted. But, you know, the visual areas are the parts that are important to me. So that's what I'm going to try and achieve, you know, a decent finish on the areas that are right in front of your eyes. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Yes, it can all be done properly, but it involves stripping it all down and preparing it and painting it, and that isn't for this year. So, you know, in the future perhaps, but you know, I still want to get it looking, you know, as presentable as possible. You know, it's it wouldn't be here if, you know, the chap didn't think that I was going to attempt to make it look better. So I'm going to get on with it now, touch it in, and then get on with another panel by the paint cures. So I'll see you on the next video, and hope this is giving you a bit more insight into what we try and do to rectify some of the faults. So I'll see you later. Okay, I've got the little cone polisher on the Dremel, and you know, it's self-explanatory, you're going to be able to watch. But this is how we get into some of the intricate areas. We'll give that a wipe off and just check it. All the plastics are now covered in polish, but they'll all be cleaned after the PPF is installed, because we're going to have soapy water running over most of the parts, so there's no point in me dressing the plastics at the moment. There you go, and that's a nice finish, well presentable. Now we'll move on to this part and go around the bumper till I'm satisfied that I haven't missed anywhere. I've already done this panel. Keep finding loads of overspray from previous visits to the body shop, so I'm having to get them off. And previous polishing has got paste everywhere, so not only have I got to remove my own, but everybody who's been there before. So there you have it. Just a quick show of the detail that we go to, make sure that we do cover all the parts. If I didn't have the Dremel and the cone, I could do it by hand, but this gives a nicer finish than doing it by hand. It's a bit coarse when you've been rubbing a microfiber on soft paint. This is very, very fine. I ordered these from Japan, and some of the detailers over there use them, and I watched the results they was getting and ordered them. And I've been buying them ever since. I've had them a few years now, and they're always coming handy on every detail, so they just don't last very long, and they're not exactly cheap. But there you go, it just adds to the job and makes my life a little bit easier, to be fair. So there you go, there's another little detail, you know, of what we're doing. See you on the next one. We'll have to spend in what feels like 20 hours trying to get the bumper in a more presentable state. It's It's not perfect by a long way, but it is a million times better than when I started. I've continually touched in some of the scratches and some of the deeper stone chips. I haven't been able to get rid of lots of them, but tried to just make it look as invisible as possible. So now I've got that sorted out, I'm going to start doing some of these intricate parts around the lower part of the bumper. The lower spoiler needs repainting to do anything with it. I am polishing it, but you know, it's just never going to be immaculate. But the car's been used, you know, it's not a young car, it's you know, 20 odd years old, or possibly 90s. So I don't know exactly what year it is, so it's had a life and it's been well used, as it should be, and sustained, you know, the usual rock damage. But we are getting it back into a more presentable condition. It's just taking time, and that's all it is really, is time. Got to know what you're doing, of course, but the more time you put in, the better it gets. So I'm just going to start some of these lower bits, and I'll show you how we do them. Be back in a minute.